Well, good morning, everybody. It is really early in the morning. I'm not awake yet. No beard. Now that'll come back, and I'll probably do goatee for a while, and then probably back to the beard because I get too lazy to try to trim it, but who knows. But this is my daily give me a minute, and I'm going to talk about my facial hair growth and trimming and fun stuff that we don't care about. Anyway, now that I'm done with the silly stuff, I'm working. I'm always working. Sometimes I'm working way too much, which is why I do more videos with my face versus other stuff. But I just want to be a note of encouragement this morning. I don't know how long this video is going to be. And now I'm going to get to my topic since I'm taking 10 hours to even go anywhere. People do not drive fast. Sometimes you can't drive fast. But anyway, the note I want to get to today is the fact that I woke up on a good side, get my stuff together, get moving, and I gotta work both jobs back to back, and my one job is really running late consistently, and which is causing me to be late to my other job. Thankfully, I have a nice boss that understands all this, but it doesn't mean it's less frustrating for me. The thing I want to bring up today is that no matter how bad we have it, no matter how frustrated we get, no matter how hated we are by people, or disliked, or liked, or whatever, I just want to remind you guys that we go through the same troubles that everybody else goes through. I want to give a power of positivity today, in a way. Now I'm sounding like the New Day from wrestling, but that's not what I'm going for. But I want to be positive on this channel, and I'm going to be as positive as I can. I'm not going to be as biblical as I usually am, because this note is more of a, hang in there type thing. I know I don't have it bad. I'm working. I'm frustrated, but I'm working, and I'm making money, and I'm paying my bills. That's all I shoot for, is to be able to pay my bills. And I'm always willing to pick up extra time. I picked up yesterday from the one job because I didn't want the person to be left alone. I picked up an extra run on Tuesday because we needed stuff down in Columbus. I'm always trying to do stuff like that. And the point I'm trying to get to is the fact that, in the Bible, you talk about Jesus. He got totally denied by everybody and anybody throughout his lifetime, especially his last 3 years. He got beat, he got stripped, he got his stuff taken from him, which was mainly his clothes, and that was it. He got hung on a cross in one of the most cruelest deaths you can get into. Long, drawn out, and just painful. He got stabbed. He was already passed out at that time, but he still got stabbed. Crucified. Crown of thorns put on his head. I mean, he was ridiculed, hated, and everything else. And he was even denied by his own father. You got Paul, who was formerly known as Saul, who was put in prison multiple times, beat. You had Peter, who was crucified upside down, which is probably just as excruciating as Jesus was. You had Moses, who was by his own family and given away by his own family. You had Joseph, who was thrown into a pit and sold as a slave. Yeah, we don't have it near as bad. No matter how bad we get, we don't have it near as bad. Daniel was being thrown into a pit of lions. I mean, he had a lot of trust in God, but the human side of him, the mental side of him, he had a big panic about being thrown in with a bunch of lions. You don't want to be mauled by a bunch of lions. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was thrown in a fire. And all four of them were because of religious beliefs. Plain simple. You had people after Jesus died and people were still proclaiming Jesus. You had a bunch of people that were being crucified and tormented and tortured, murdered, stoned, because they believed in a Jesus that other people didn't want to believe in. I mean, there's so much stuff that people go through, and we don't have it near as bad as what they have. We don't have it near as bad today. No matter how bad it gets, we stress, we get troubled, we get upset. We don't have it near as bad. And the positivity I want to bring to you is the fact that, God has a purpose and a meaning for everything that happens. God has purpose and a meaning for everything that happens. And I'm going to say that again because I want you guys to really consider this. Jesus knew the hairs on your head and how many you have before you was born. He knew the trials and tribulations you would go through before you was born. He knew that long before you was born. Now, we don't have it near, we don't have it bad. We get frustrated, but Jesus has you under his wing. I was going to repeat something, I don't remember what I was going to say. I don't remember the exact line, I'll put it that way. But, broken shoulder. I know there's a lot of deaths in the family over the last couple of years. There's been a lot of deaths in other families. One of my good friends, her sister had to go through her death, and her sister, the person that died, was younger than me and her because we was in the same grade together. Yeah, that makes sense the way I said that. But she was a friend I saw on a regular basis, and now it's just weird going to that same workplace where she used to work at. She ain't there anymore. I miss her. I know her sister's hurting because she's missing. I have a friend that had his dad die, and also one of his good friends died. We don't have it that bad. Yes, there's deaths all the time. There's broken bones. There's different things, losing jobs. I mean, there's bad things that happen. People say, why does bad things happen to good people? The reality is, why does God let bad things happen to good people? And the reality is, God doesn't want us to go through bad things. God wants the best for us. We choose to sin. When we choose to sin, there's consequences. Dad, you're going to die eventually because you sin. You're going to, Moses, for example, he was supposed to be he was wanting to go to Israel when they got to Israel. His consequence for his sins was the fact he was not able to go to Israel. He didn't trust God. God told him to do that, to do a certain specific thing to get water. He hit a rock instead. And, God took care of it. But Moses did not listen, so he was not allowed to go to Israel. That was his consequence. Sin has consequences. People don't want to recognize sin sometimes. Sin is anything that goes against what God wants. And then if there's a man-made rule that does not go against what God wants, then that's a sin too, because you're not obeying man. We all have our quirks, our problems, which is why we all have our consequences, our problems. But nothing is bad. Nothing is bad at all compared to the people of old. The Revolutionary War, we was trying to fight a country to get our country. We don't have to worry about that. We had a civil war for freedom for blacks and for all that stuff, which is rightfully the right way to go, because everybody should have equal rights. I agree with that. We had a civil war. We don't face that today. We don't have prejudice and racial bias like we had years and years ago. People will say we're still being racist here and there, and we should pay. No, we shouldn't. I'm not responsible for what happened 150 years ago. I'm not responsible for even what happened in the 50s. In the 50s, we made it possible for blacks to vote, for blacks to be able to go into a white restaurant. And there is no white restaurant now. There's no white restroom. There's no white bus. I mean, it's equal opportunity. You want to work? You go to work. It don't matter the color of your skin. You want to go to the bathroom? You go to the bathroom. It don't matter the color of your skin. Asian, black, white, red, yellow, purple, pink, aliens. Technically, anybody that comes from other countries is an alien, so technically aliens. But anybody is allowed anywhere. Heck, they even are trying to make it so men are allowed to go to women's restrooms. I don't agree with that. I'm totally against that. But it is what it is. But we don't have it bad. We're able to protest whatever we want as long as it's done in the right way. We're able to vote for whatever we want. And anybody is allowed to vote that is a U.S. citizen and whatever. We're able to go wherever we want. Most people can afford a car nowadays. People say, well, I'm broke, and there's poor America and there's rich America. But everybody has a car. Cheap car that's always breaking down, or a good car that you can depend on. But we all have a car. That's not something we could afford a long time ago. It used to be horses that were the cars. Now it's cars that are cars. Everybody can afford a car. So we don't have it bad. So as bad as you think you have it, we don't have it bad. We are on the brink of being the richest country in the world. We can afford stuff that most countries can only dream about. We have it great. Our world really does have it good. Now there's certain spots where there's wars. You want to argue over which president's the right president? Fine. You want to argue over all these different policies and procedures and laws and everything else? Fine. We have that right. This world has that right. People are not prosecuted like they were years and years and years ago. And I'm telling you, in the future, at some point, Christians are going to be persecuted again. We're not even close to that right now. Everybody's going to turn on Christians. Everybody's going to be turned on Israel. But we are in a really good spot. And that is something to be excited about. That is a positivity that I am super pumped about. Because we are all brothers and sisters in this world. And I want to be positive. And I've said a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm thankful. As frustrated as I can be, I am grateful, thankful, and appreciative of everything that I got. My family, my brothers, whether we get along or not. my mom and dad, sometimes we get along, sometimes they fight each other. It's because they love each other. It's what they do. But they don't. But they love each other, and I'm appreciative of that. And I still got my parents. A lot of people of my friends are losing their parents. I've still got mine right now. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my breath I breathe. I'm grateful for the jobs I got. I'm grateful that I can do what I do and have the freedom that I do. And I can, I called off of my delivery job last night so I can get sleep. And I had somebody else run it for me. Today I'm running both jobs. But I'm going home early from my other job. Both of my bosses are pretty understanding and work with me quite a bit. And they'll do what they can to help me. And I'll do what I can to help them. That's how things should work. I'm grateful. Whether I'm frustrated, I'm upset, I'm grateful. And I challenge you to be grateful for what you got. I challenge you to be happy that things could be a lot worse and that you have it where you have it. Money troubles, got to pay bills. It's life. We're always going to owe something to somebody. No matter how much we try to get out of debt, we're always going to have some kind of debt. But I'm grateful that I'm able to do this channel and have the freedom. And I'm also grateful that I have you guys watching and listening and commenting when you want to. Freedom of comment. Like what I say, don't like what I say. Fine. Why don't you guys, I'm challenging you guys, why don't you give me things on the comments of what you're grateful for? I mentioned several of mine. Now it's your turn. What kind of things are you grateful for? Like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Let me know what you guys think. I can talk about wrestling. I can talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. But right now, wrestling is just kind of there. I watch it just enough to know what's going on in case I get a conversation with my brother. Excuse me. But I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my brothers. Whether we get along or not, I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful that they're as healthy as they are. I'm grateful that my one brother has a girlfriend and kids on the side, and grandkids, and that they have a good time with them. I'm grateful for them. I'm thankful that they have that chance and that ability. I'm grateful for my daughter. She is amazing and awesome. I'm grateful that I'm just where I'm at. I can't ask for anything better. You guys have a great day. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. And give me your opinions. What are you grateful for? Let me know in the comments. Thumbs up. It takes 1 second to hit a thumbs up. I don't do the channel for money. I'm doing the channel to bring positivity to everybody. You guys have a good day.